This is 17 Scoreboard, presented by MCOR Services Hillcrest, with Anthony Vasquez, Brian Nixon, and Trevor Horn. Kern County High School football. Scores, highlights, and sideline interviews. Powered by Sangera Subaru.
Good evening, everybody. It's that time of the week again. 17 Scoreboard is back on a Sunday to recap Week 6. Alongside Brian Nixon and Trevor Horn, I'm Anthony Vasquez. Guys, we are past the halfway point of the season. Phase 1 is over. Now it's time for League.
Phase 2, here we go. League time. It's where it all happens.
You're talking about homecoming, senior nights, rivalry games. This is the best part of the year.
Coach Nixon and Trev will give their league predictions later on in the show. But first, let's start recapping our 11-game slate with our game of the week.
17 Scoreboard's Game of the Week, presented by HPS Mechanical Plumbing Services.
Well, we start up north, where BCHS faced its toughest test yet. The Eagles paid a visit to undefeated Tulare Union in a measuring stick game for the Birds. Coach Darren Carr was seeking a 10th straight regular season win and his first 5-0 start. We're going to kick things off late in the first quarter. Lincoln Adame to Michael Smith. This kid can basically set up shop in the end zone and stay there all game.
He's got 9 receiving touchdowns and 3 pick sixes this year. He lives in the end zone.
BCHS, the early 7-0 lead. Later in the second, he could do it both ways. Coach Michael Smith, nice open field tackle.
What a great job. You know, had his eyes in the right spot, but to put a guy in that position to make a play in space, he did a great job, and he got the ball out at the end.
BCHS up 10-0 at the break. Third quarter, Arnaz Lee, the 5-yard rushing score. Birds up 17-0 on a very good Tulare Union squad. Ensuing Eagles possession, Darren Carr going into his bag of tricks. Flea flicker to Michael Smith.
You got to love that. You know, you get to practice that all week long, and when you get an opportunity to use it and execute it like that, it's a lot of fun for kids.
Fourth quarter, Lincoln Adame to Andre Calderon, who high points the football.
Great to see Andre Calderon back in the end zone. Saw it so much last year. He's been pinpointed this year. Great job.
Defensively, David Aguirre picks that one off. He gets all the way to the end zone, but his pick six was called back for a penalty. Either way, BCHS is for real, boys and girls. 5-0 for the first time under Darren Carr.
We talked about it. We're very upfront with these guys, man. We had to travel well. We had to work our tails off, and we had to get it done, right? So these guys came out here. I told them they got to want it more than them, and they obviously did. It does a lot for us. It gives them confidence, man. It's a confident group. Again, they're all, a bunch of them are seniors, but they're very mature for their age, man.
Here's a look at the stat line for BCHS. Everybody 8, Lincoln Adame 267 through the air.
Well, you look at this team, they're number 4 in the section overall right now on hsratings.com for a good reason.
Averaging almost 40 points a game. That's 400 yards a game. That's really good on their defense as well, because they're chopping up clock and finishing in the end zone, which lets their defense rest.
BCHS is 5-0. Back to Kern County we go, as another squad was seeking a 5-0 start, and that was Shafter. And like BCHS, SHS wrapped up the non-league slate with its best opponent yet, a revamped St. Joseph's team from the coast. And here comes Shafter. Generals running out onto the field, enter Sandman. There's the Generals bunker right there. Nice looking student section. They didn't have much to cheer for in this one. It was all St. Joe's.
When you look at this is kind of like an FBS versus FCS. You know, Shafter is going to be great in the playoffs. This was a tough test for them because that's a true D1 team.
St. Joe's offensive line bullied Shafter all night. Grayson Gaines, a second rushing score here. It is 14-0. And coach, when you're the underdog, you can't be fumbling the ball like Shafter did right here.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, you're the underdog. You're trying to get some things happen. You turn the ball over. You know you can't make those types of plays against good teams.
Late in the second quarter, Grayson Gaines strikes again. Third rushing score for him. Knights up 24-0 at the break. First St. Joseph possession out of the locker room. Just when you think Shafter has some momentum, Jack Hazlett puts the dagger through the Generals. 70 yards to Dominic Rucobo. Shafter's 7 points are its lowest since the 2022 state title game. Generals suffer their worst loss in 9 years.
You're like a NASA scientist. Your rocket ship blew up on the launch pad. You got to figure out how to build a better rocket ship. That's the toughest game we'll see all year as far as a complete team, and they're a good football team. But we added to it with our inadequacies in our ability to execute things.
All right, let's take a trip up north. Shafter's hated rivals, the Wasco Tigers, running out onto the field, a perfect 4-0 against Tulare Western. First quarter, this game was bonkers, by the way. There's Hammy Lopez. You can find him in the end zone once again.
The man, the myth, the legend, 118 yards, I apologize, 3 touchdowns Friday night.
7-0 Wasco. Juju Hernandez and Tulare Western fights back, 40 yards to Amarion Taylor. T-Dub scores 20 unanswered to lead 20-7 at the break. But now let's go to the second half. Wasco fights back with who else? Hammy Lopez, 3 scores on the night, coach. One of them coming on scoring teams.
You gotta love the special team score. Get him the ball any way you can, and if they want to kick to him, he's gonna make them pay.
Tulare Western up by 5 after a 2-point conversion. Later in the third quarter, Javen Hernandez, he can throw the rock. Wasco has a passing game now, folks. 24 yards on the run to Moroni Carranza.
It's just incredible what Wasco is able to do now. It's going to really pay dividends in October and November, having that extra threat, being able to throw the ball.
That go-ahead score puts Wasco up by 1. Ensuing kickoff. There's a play you like, coach. Not scoring teams, but special teams can really change the game. Watch this. Tulare Western into a sea of Tigers. Fumble. Wasco has the ball.
Gotta love that. First guy there put his hat on the ball. Ball comes out. I like that there were 5 guys around to recover that ball.
Tigers gain tackling. Few plays later, Aiden Holsey, 9-yard rushing score. Wasco up by 7 after a missed PAT. Remember that. 100 seconds to go. Dominic Sechan, 15 yards. Tulare Western down by 1. Coach, the Mustangs are going to roll the dice. No PAT. They're going to go for 2. With the game on the line, Juju Hernandez finds Landon Sechan.
A lot of guys have that mentality. On the road, scored late, go for 2 to win.
Final chance for Wasco now. Javen Hernandez needing a miracle from the 40-yard line, but his pass is picked off by Preston Sechan. Mustangs hand the Tigers their first loss of the year in a thriller. Well, from one wild game in Kern County to another in Clovis, Frontier put a bow on its daunting non-league slate with Clovis North. We start the second quarter. Brady Campbell to Malcolm Watkins. That dynamic duo is back. Nice throw here.
Nice setup there for Brady Campbell. Great night. 363 passing yards, 4 touchdowns.
The problem is Clovis North up big. He led by as much as 21 points. Lucas Smith got to account for the quarterback here.
Tell you what, when you got a quarterback that can move like that, it is tough for a defensive coordinator. You got to count for him.
27-6, Clovis North on top. Broncos still up 21 in the fourth quarter. Brady Campbell to Malcolm Watkins once again. Big night for Watkins, Trev.
Very much so. 9 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns.
34-19, Clovis North on top. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Brady Campbell, beautiful throw to Kobe Watson with some toe drag swag at the end.
What a great ball there, and a great job at the end there to keep your toe down.
Let's go to the fourth quarter. Clovis North up by 8 points. Final 4 minutes. Brady Campbell, watch the top of your screen. Another perfectly thrown ball. Big night for Brady Campbell, too.
Yeah, and these are the type of losses that we talk about that are only going to make you better later on in the season.
Frontier erases a 21-point deficit to tie things up at 34, but Clovis North fights back. Final minute, Lucas Smith, 14 yards to Tyree Sams, right into your living room. Final chance for Frontier. Hail Mary for Brady Campbell. Falls short. Frontier ends the first half of its schedule 1-4. Let's stay in the River League now. Moving on to winless Liberty. Patriots looking for their very first win of 2025, taking on Independence. Slow start to this one. Indy up 7-3 midway through the third. That's when Gavin Parham swings it out to Dennis Perry, who does the rest.
That was a great job, a little hide route right there, extended handoff, got the ball in his hands, found a lane, finished in the end zone.
Liberty from down 4 to up 3. Fourth quarter. 10 minutes left. Gavin Parham, a 26-yard strike to Irvin Callaway.
Second straight start for Parham, and he's really showing that he's getting comfortable there in the pocket.
He can spin it. Liberty up by 10. Indy cuts the deficit to 7 with 2 minutes left. Fumble on the handoff, coach.
Ball security, first quarter, second quarter, doesn't matter what quarter it is, ball security is important.
So Liberty clinging to a 7-point lead. Fourth down for Indy. 30 ticks left. Gunter Gola running for his life. His pass falls to the turf. It wasn't pretty, but Liberty earns its first win of 2025.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a miraculous performance, but our defense showed a lot of grit because, I mean, they're a good football team. Both sides of the ball, you know, they're a Coach Gola team's always going to play really hard and give you some fits. So our guys persevered. We made some mistakes, but we found a way.
All right, running up against our first break here on the scoreboard. When we come back, we'll take a look at those rambunctious Rams, the Garces Rams. A big matchup against Rigetti. See if the Rams can stay hot on the other side.
17 Scoreboard is presented by MCOR Hillcrest Air Conditioning Services. 17 Scoreboard is powered by Sangera Subaru.
Welcome back to the scoreboard, everybody. Let's take a trip to Arvin. West and Arvin. Under 4 to play in the first quarter. Jared Romero, the 19-yard rushing score. Vikes on top 7-0. Then we go to the third quarter. Some more scoring teams here. This time it's Solomon Harris, West do-it-all star.
Solomon Harris, I think, takes the tickets, pours the water. He does everything for the Vikings. 226 total yards Friday night.
He probably drove the bus from West to Arvin, if we're being honest. Then in the fourth quarter, tush push here for the West Vikings. The only problem is Arvin forgets to tackle, and Solomon Harris says thank you very much. West rolls and already matches its win total from the very first 3 seasons. Welcome back to the scoreboard, everybody. Heading to Garces, where second-year head man Grant Campbell is putting together quite the turnaround. 0-10 on the field last year, but entered Friday's bout with Rigetti, already seeking a 4th win in 2025. First possession here, Mark Gomez, 25 yards to the speedy Braxton Shirley.
229 yards and 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers for Gomez Friday night.
Later in the first, Nicholas Matautia picked off by Landon Davis. Look at the body adjustment.
Yeah, that was a great job. Turned his head the right way, got the ball between him and the receiver. Good pick.
A few plays later, Mark Gomez, a 55-yard bomb from the lefty to Trayson Wallace in stride.
He's got playmakers, and Gomez, the lefty, is showing a lot of poise this year.
Then in the third, Mark Gomez, once again, 45 yards to Landon Davis. He could do it both ways.
You got to like lefties, man. I'll tell you what. Good job for him. Found the open guy, finished in the end zone. Good catch, good ball.
Gomez throws for 229 and 4 scores. The defense generated 3 turnovers. Isaiah Flores forces a fumble, recovered by Jacob Hernandez. Garces all over Rigetti on Friday. And guys, it is a night and day difference from what Garces did last year to what Garces is doing this year. Look at the record, 1-4 compared to 4-1, but Garces is scoring 3 times as many points.
They've kind of flopped that points per game and points given up. Exactly. I mean, 33 points per game they're scoring, and they're only giving up 16.
When you look at it, too, it really shows you a big comparison to what they were able to do with a full offseason under the new coaching regime.
With more highlights, here's Justin White.
This is your 17 Scoreboard 2-minute drill.
All right, let's get into your 2-minute drill now. Taking it over to North High School. This is Gavin Shalizzi on the sweep and roll out the red carpet on his way to the end zone. We're going to show you a punt now. You know what that means, Coach, but scoring teams not quite who you think it is. Boron's returner going to run a little bit wild on this one, running up the left side of the field, but he's going to fumble, and it's picked up by Caden Hayner, who's going to take this one all the way back. Punt return gone wrong for Boron. The Boron defense, they do make a good play though. That's Andrew Gardica with the interception right there. North's defense, they also got to work, maybe a little bit better than Gardica did. And it's going to be Caden Hayner once again. 2 touchdowns, neither of them on offense. North wins big against Boron. We're going to take you on over to Miramonte now, where Nate Gonzalez is going to do Nate Gonzalez things. No messing around for him. Right up the middle. He's going to make it 7-0 Miramonte. Now for East, that boy Maximus Hull throwing darts. Watch this. What a throw. Up the right sideline. Boom. Over the defenders. On the flea flicker as well. Hull again on this one. Tossing this one out to Mason Manabet. Finds the edge and gets into the end zone for East. But Nate Gonzalez, he's going to do it again from way further out. Huge rushing touchdown for Gonzalez, putting Miramonte even further on top. And guess what? It's Gonzalez again. Another one for good measure on this one. Miramonte, big win. Gonzalez runs wild. That's your 2-minute drill.
Taking a look at the rest of the scores from Week 6, just a couple to get short up on. Tehachapi loses big against Golden West, and McFarland has its 2nd loss of the year against Mendota. And welcome back into our 17 Scoreboard studios, everybody, alongside Coach Nixon and Trevor Horn. I'm Anthony Vasquez, and the time has come. We're going to be making our league predictions, starting out with the River League, a hotly contested one, likely between Frontier and Liberty. But Trevor, who's your pick?
I look at the Frontier Titans and I see what they've been able to do against high competition. They've got a big win over Clovis. They nearly upset Clovis North on the road on Friday night. And you look at it, top strength of schedule in the Central section, and it's not even close. Top 20 in the state of California, and they are loaded, and they've played a tough schedule. They've taken some lumps, but you really look at it, the Titans look like the top team in the River League. Liberty is right there. Both of them were only one-win teams going into league, which is something that we never thought we'd see coming. But there's still two high-end teams playing the two toughest strength of schedules in the first 5 weeks of the year.
Frontier started slow last year, 2-3, actually did not win league en route to its state championship winning season. Coach, you're going with the Liberty Patriots. You think LHS is going to win back-to-back league titles, right?
I do. I got to go with Liberty. They've played the same, just like Trevor talked about. They played a really tough schedule. They've been in a lot of those games, been a chance to win it in the fourth quarter. I think that's going to pay dividends. They know what it's like to have adversity now, and they know that going into the first, they're coming off a bye. And their first league games against Frontier. I think it's going to be a great game. Two really, really good teams. We'll see what happens.
Liberty 9 league titles in 11 years. A lot of them won by the man standing right next to me right now. So Trev going with Frontier, Coach with Liberty. Let's move on out to the Valley League, another hotly contested one. These are last year's standings. BCHS beat BHS on that thrilling game-winning field goal. Trev, where is the Valley League going this year?
Well, I will say this right now. Those are two 4-0 teams on the field between BHS and BCHS, but I think it's BCHS Eagles right now. They are just so complete in all three phases. And it's not just the Mike Smick show. You saw David Aguirre on the defensive side of the ball. You've seen Lincoln Adame throw the ball. I think the Eagles really have the upper hand here, but it's going to be close. The two games I'm looking at, October 17th, BHS and BCHS, and then I'm still really, really interested on that Halloween game with Independence at BHS. First time Gola's back since leaving BHS in 2018.
Speaking of BHS, Coach, you're going with the Drillers, trying to buck the trend as the BHS has finished the runner-up to BCHS the last 3 seasons.
They have, but you know what? They got I talked to Coach Oliver. They got a deep, experienced back end. And I think that's going to pay dividends. They can run the football. They're getting the ball to their playmakers. I think that's going to be a heck of a game between those two.
Both these teams neck and neck in the points per game and points allowed category. October 17th, circle the date, BHS at BCHS. Let's move on now to an extremely fun league, and that is the SSL. South Sequoia League. This is a 4-horse race. Trev, who do you have winning it?
I've got Shafter right now winning it just based on the fact that they have the ability to throw and run the ball very well with an experienced quarterback, an experienced running back, Ezekiel Osborne and Marion Sloan. But this is a tight race. You just saw it. 4 teams are 4-1 going into league. It's going to be anybody's battle. There's probably going to be, I think everybody's probably going to have a loss, but I think that Shafter is the team that's going to come away victorious.
The Shafter Generals, back-to-back league champs, 11 straight league wins, but it's not going to be easy because one of the teams Shafter is going to have to face is Kennedy, and you like the Thunderbirds this year.
I do. I like them a lot. They got a great running game. The defense flies around. Coach Mion's doing a great job. And just to be said, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes back to like 2000 when we had a 3-way tie with one of those guys beating each other along the way. And we had, I think it was Garces, Shafter, and Tehachapi, or maybe Taft was in there. We had a 3-way tie in 2000. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm still going to take Kennedy as a favorite.
There is going to be a lot of cannibalism in the SSL. Let's move on quickly to the Mountain League. Yes, we're getting directional because both of these gentlemen here like the North Stars. Trevor, we'll start with you.
You look at their run game led by quarterback Bradley Docker. You look at their front 7 led by Talon Prince. This is a loaded North team, and they've got a lot of revenge in their minds because they had to forfeit their 2 wins. So they have to win to get into the playoffs, and I think that's going to be the mindset moving forward.
Adam Levinson, he's looking really good in his second year.
Tell you what, they're doing a good job. I've had the privilege of watching 4 of their 5 games. And I've been really impressed with the way the defense is flying around. The kids have a great attitude. Offensively, they're able to keep the ball and move the chains, throwing the ball around a little bit right now. So I like our chances. I'm going to go with the North Stars to win it.
And then in the Horizon League, last season's standings for you, Arvin ran the table. Trev, very, very quickly, give me your pick real fast.
Miramonte.
Coach?
Miramonte.
All right, Miramonte and Miramonte. Those are our league predictions, everybody. Let's jump in right to our top 5 plays of the week. Starting out at number 5, BCHS's Lincoln Adame finding Michael Smith, showing off the moves, the shimmies.
He did a great job there. You know, that's a quick hitch and get him in space. He made 3 guys miss. That's called can't tackle him in a phone booth.
That's Big Mike right there doing big things.
Number 4, Brady Campbell to his main man, Kobe Watson, toe drag swag.
How this wasn't the top play tonight, I don't understand.
Loaded week.
Toe drag.
Frontier does take the loss to Clovis North. Titans are going to be starting league play next week. At number 3, staying in the River League, because Mark Gomez had himself a day, finds Trayson Wallace in stride, wide open.
Big time play.
Yeah, that wasn't the only play that was wide open for the Rams on Friday night.
All Garces against Rigetti. Numero dos. We're going to take things up to Tiger territory. Wasco's Hammy Lopez doing Hammy Lopez things. Scoring teams here. 63-yard punt return to really get Wasco back in the game against Tulare Western.
Amen to that. We talked about it earlier. If they want to kick the ball to him, I don't know.
So
they need to watch some film, but they did it.
We wouldn't recommend it.
And I wouldn't recommend it, but guess what? They did, and look what happens.
Wasco suffers its first loss of the year, taking on Chavez on Friday. Finally, Caden Hayner does it all for North. He punts the ball here, and keep an eye, because as Boron's returner is running, Caden Hayner does not give up on the play. He scoops it and scores it.
Okay, I take it back. That, by far, was the best play of the week. How rare do you see a punter grabbing a ball and taking it to the house?
We'll have more scoreboard when we come back. Welcome back to the scoreboard, everybody. Our player of the week is a familiar face here on 17. It is Miramonte's running back Nathan Gonzalez, 189 and 5 scores.
30 carries. Coach, you used to have a guy that used to do that.
We only did it a couple times with Sammy, but what a great job. And I'll tell you what, the defense is getting tired of tackling him.
Now, well, good luck to the rest of that league, right? Horizon League, Miramonte, both of these gentlemen like the Lions. Well, that does it for 17 Scoreboard, everybody. For Coach Nixon, Trevor Warren, and Anthony Vasquez saying so long, and we'll see you next Sunday.